What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Like I said, we're going to be trying to do daily episodes covering everything going on in cryptocurrency and also trying to take in as many events from the rest of the world as possible. Obviously, there's one major event that's affecting all of us across the globe, and there's something, unbelievable about that and that we need to just respect. And I know people are on all sides of this issue. Some people aren't taking it that seriously. Some people are taking it extremely seriously. I'm personally taking it quite seriously. I'd rather be over-prepared than under-prepared. I highly encourage you all to over-prepare, and hopefully we look back at this in a few weeks or months and we all say, hey, remember when we over-prepared? That was funny. But I'd rather that happen than feel like we get to a place where we're not prepared. So that's how I'm approaching it. I certainly hope that you guys are preparing yourselves, preparing your families for, making sure that you're okay over the next few months. And I believe that humanity, we're going to rally together and that we're going to work together to solve this. This is a new issue. We haven't faced it in the modern era together. And I think there's a lot of hope there. So that's how I'm approaching it. Obviously, I'm wishing you all the best. Happiest of the happiest, as my friend Crown would say, but also stay healthy and protect yourself, guys, and we'll get through this together. Now, that said, let's jump into some cryptocurrency news, because yet another day is showing that cryptocurrency is defying the gravity of mainstream markets. And this is a situation that, like we said yesterday, has only started manifesting in the last 48 hours, right? This has never happened before, that there's been a bear market or a descending of mainstream markets in a clear pattern, almost in a sort of financial collapse pattern. And we're seeing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies hold strength and even grow. So this is an unprecedented situation for Bitcoin and crypto, as well as the world right now. And that's why more than ever, it's important to keep the flow of information and the conversation going. And we can see here on the Bitcoin chart, we're holding the gains from yesterday. This bounce back from the incredible dip that happened as the mainstream markets were collapsing several days ago has seemed to really bounce back resiliently. We sort of collapsed from the high $7,000 range, and now it seems like we're really holding this sort of mid to low $6,000 range, which is extremely exciting because we went all the way down into the 3,000s on that dip. Like I said, I was a buyer in that range. I hope some of you were able to buy. I've actually taken some profits. I'm trying to see which way the motion of the ocean goes here. But regardless, I think that this is an incredibly exciting time. As we look, we have, small greens, small reds, a little bit here and there, but a reminder, a lot of these coins really jumped over 20%, sometimes over 30%. Some of these coins were up 80% yesterday. So small reds is okay if it's, less than 3% here. A lot of the market here is still in the green or tiny reds. And that cannot be said, of course, for the Dow Jones, which is down 3% today, which is, of course, in mainstream markets terms, very, very significant, right? So we have the Dow Jones down 3%. We have the S&P 500 down 2.5%. And meanwhile, Bitcoin is up almost the same amount. Yet another day where we're seeing a huge difference in the behavior in mainstream markets and crypto. This, to me, is so significant as we're in a time of a true test of these assets. We went through our immediate liquidity crisis squeeze right when everyone was trying to extract cash, and now we're seeing this happen. But there's another chart that I've been looking at and I think we should all be looking at, and this is not about fear-mongering. This is just about understanding where we're going and understanding and monitoring the situation. So I like to look here and just understand how the cases are being reported for coronavirus. Right now, what makes me concerned is that we're seeing a growth here in the closed cases. Of closed cases, this was 9%, this number. 2 days ago, it was 10% yesterday, and it's 11% today. And it bothers me a little bit because it seems like the European and American populations are not faring as well as the Asian populations against this virus. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a medical background. But, especially with Italy, if you look at closed cases, what we're seeing is over 40% of closed cases in Italy are resulting in deaths, right? And that's really scary for me. This was even lower. I think this was 43% yesterday. It's 44% today. So certain populations are really not faring well against this. And it's just important that you guys all stay inside, socially distance. And like I said, let's look back in a few weeks and laugh about being over-prepared, but let's not under-prepare. That's what I encourage you to do, is to prepare yourself. Obviously, we just got the news that we're shutting the border between U.S. and Mexico. Obviously, this has been a sort of political divisive point for many years now, and yet it seems to have sailed through with this coronavirus epidemic. It actually, I believe, was proposed originally by the Mexican government, But it's an interesting time here. Let me know what you guys think about the border closing, if you guys agree with border closings. I'm personally not really leaving the house very much, so I'm not really concerned with that right now. Also, California ordered a statewide lockdown, so that affects me. I'm in Los Angeles. Only essential businesses and essential, trips out of the house. Again, like I said, I'm hunkering down, so it doesn't affect me too much. And yeah, all these things are pretty interesting because we're seeing them have an effect on mainstream markets, but we're also seeing not a negative effect in crypto markets so far, as we're holding tremendous gains off of yesterday. And my hope is that we see Bitcoin more and more start to prove out as a safe haven, non-correlated asset. Non-correlation is really the ultimate aspiration for Bitcoin right now. And if we're able to show non-correlation through these turbulent times, I believe that the future of Bitcoin becomes very, very, very clear, because there's not an asset like it in the world. Obviously, there are other cryptos, but there's not an asset more trusted than Bitcoin in cryptocurrency land. And yeah, it's just an exciting time if you're holding Bitcoin. It's a crazy time, but this could end up creating kind of the perfect storm that Bitcoiners have been talking about for many, many years. Let me know what you guys think. Is this coronavirus going to potentially lead to Bitcoin becoming the safe haven asset? It's really the debate raging. I believe that we still have a high risk of going down, right? This could easily, the bottom could drop off of this Bitcoin price and we could go down. But I still believe that over time, Bitcoin will bounce back. The belief in it, the trust in it will be there. Anthony Pompliano is tweeting here. If you guys don't know Pomp, or if you're new to the crypto scene here, I'm imagining that there's probably quite a few people that are going to start researching crypto in this particular world condition that don't know about crypto. So if you're new to this world, there's a really intelligent man in the space named Anthony Pompliano who runs a hedge fund in the space. And he said, remember when the Fed said they were only going to do $1 trillion in daily repos for this week? Many of you said it would be a few days and over. I disagreed. Now they just announced they'll do it through the rest of the month. There's just going to be a lot of stimulus over the coming days, weeks, and months on levels that we haven't experienced before. And while that's happening globally, so, in relation to the Chinese yuan or other international currencies, I could see the dollar potentially holding up. It's certainly doing well against all other foreign currencies right now. I could still see it because everybody's printing money. So I could still see the dollar kind of holding strong. But over the long term, printing that much money must weaken the dollar against hard assets, not against other currencies, but against hard assets like property, gold, and of course, Bitcoin. We also had this very, very interesting report here about Senator Loeffler of Bakkt fame, who came under fire for apparently insider trading. So if you guys don't know what happened here, essentially, all the senators got together and were given private information that the US public was not privy to about how serious the coronavirus situation was and what the effect would be on the economy. Now, after that meeting, she immediately went and sold millions of dollars in stock. To be honest, I honestly am a little bit upset by that too. It really reminds me a little bit of like what you heard about in like the 1929 stock market crash, where we've had record numbers of CEOs leave in January of this year. We had Jeff Bezos sell $2 billion worth of stock, which I don't remember the last time I've heard Jeff Bezos selling billions of dollars worth of stock. There's just been a blanketing of insiders essentially getting out of the market before people, the normal people in the world, had access to enough information to prepare themselves. And I think that is a problem. I don't think that's right. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this is something that she should be punished for? Should she be held accountable? Or do you think, hey, it's a free market, she should be free? If she senses some upcoming danger, she should be free to sell? I'm very curious because I don't think that this is such a black and white situation. It's shades of gray. Let me know what you guys think. It didn't really sit well with me, though. I'm pretty upset to hear that we had senators essentially using their information to get financial advantages. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy, but I'm curious what you guys think. There's a pretty well-known investor, a Twitter personality, economist named Raoul Pal. He actually said today that the whole system's at risk here, and obviously I believe that we'll find a way to save it as well. They're going to figure out stimulus measures to save the system. System won't collapse, but like he's saying here, trust is going to be really hard to rebuild in these situations because there's just been a lot of frantic action, and a lot of people feel in some ways betrayed by the way things are taking place, by the way things are playing out. And so trust in traditional financial systems, I think, will definitely be damaged at the best case scenario, which of course makes which of course paves the way for Bitcoin to come through and provide a system where there doesn't need to be that trust, right? We're not trusting humans, we're trusting code and math and rules that have been put in place that can't be altered. I don't want everyone to get panicked by this video. I believe that we're gonna save the system and everything's gonna be okay, but it's more about what happens next. It's about the next step in the economy. And it seems clearer and clearer that cryptocurrency, this alternative financial system with code and math as governance, that is going to be far more attractive to a generation that has now been exposed to such financial malpractices. And having lived through this epidemic here, where we're seeing financial and sort of medical infrastructure really being tested in a way that we haven't seen it tested before. Even in 2008, I think this test might be more significant. Like I said, I'm very hopeful. I'm over-preparing. I hope you guys over-prepare as well. We're gonna get through this together. But no matter what, I keep seeing all the arrows point back to Bitcoin. All the arrows point back to cryptocurrency and alternative financial systems that are governed by things that we can trust, like math. I think it's definitely an exciting time. And like I said, I'm going to keep stocking up on Bitcoin because I feel like that's the best way to prepare myself financially. Again, having a lot of cash on hand, also a good idea. And obviously the equities markets are probably going to be the most volatile and dangerous. But of course, I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is a community. We're all in this together, and so we all need to combine our brains, think together, logic together, and we'll get through this together. We also got the news that 1.2 million Italians are going to be able to use a Bitcoin payments network that's being run by a bank, Banca Stella, and it's called Hype. So this is pretty interesting. Again, just seeing Bitcoin start to emerge in this time. It's definitely a time where I think we need Bitcoin, and I'm starting to believe in it more than ever. So I think that this is really exciting, but again, like I said, we're all in this together. Let's stick together and we can do this. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, do me a favor and hit the sub button. Also, if you guys want me to research any topics in this time where we're all quarantined and hunkered down, let me know. I'm happy to do some research and pump out some new videos on topics that you guys want to hear about. As usual, thanks for watching. My name's Elliot. You guys are watching FUD TV, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.